you be managing in 2023? Devin and I, we literally we just got off a few hours ago, and we were being coached on managing our triggers in 2023, so that way we're not producing the same result that we had last year. Because of course, being human, we have patterns. We have patterns, and our patterns lead to our results. And so as we are transitioning into the new year, we can actually sit down and begin to assess what's going on. Like, how do we get the results that we have now? And what were the things that we've been doing for the past years, not just this year, but every other year before this year, that we know, because we all have this inner knowing, but that we know that's been holding us back. And how can we prevent that trigger? How can we prevent those things from happening before we just end up in a cycle of self-sabotage, stress, and no results? So, Devan, as we were talking about, okay, let's talk about triggers. And I'm beginning to think we need to start calling these live episodes something, because we're just like, let's go live and let's talk about this. But we're talking about triggers today. How can we prevent these triggers that that cause us to go down or to be complacent or comfortable in 2022? How can we adjust? How can we assess those triggers in order to have a more successful 2023? And so Devan said, throughout clarity, connection, and comparison. Let's go, Devan.
Yeah.
How can okay.
Yeah, so that's an interesting way we're kind of approaching this, but
I didn't even introduce ourselves. See, we gotta come up with like a whole little.
Well,
hey, y'all.
Our names are there. Our names are there. So, like, everyone, hi, my name is Devan Edwards, aka Devan the Connector, connecting you to the knowledge that will empower yourself. This is my amazing partner, Xaye Faith, at Life with Xaye, and we're coming to you in is it Total Freedom? Total Freedom events, Total Freedom Ventures.
And I will say, so ultimately, we've been going live every day, Monday through Friday. Really, as we are reflecting and gearing up to go into the new year, like, we are kind of sharing our journey on what we're doing, and we pay a lot of money to coaches in order to help us to level up every single year. So throughout this journey, we definitely want to be in contribution and just kind of share like what we're doing, because through accountability and community, we all can have our goals. We all can get to the next level. So and it's just fun. Like, we really love to give value. Like, this is we love to share what we actually do as building our brand. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is what we actually do. So yeah, and we love to also learn from y'all as well. So the band triggers, clarity, comparison.
Yeah, so when we kind of talk about like our triggers, we kind of think about those three things come into play. But before that, when we address before I get to that point, like, when we address triggers, like, where does that stem from? So there's triggers come from what's impacting our mind, body, and spirit. What's impacting our emotional state that's taking us out of the flow of our personal growth, our personal development, our life, our business, every aspect of our life. Like, what are these things that are kind of hurting us rather than helping us? What's those things that are impacting us in a kind of negative way? And like, you have triggers, and then you have those things that kind of lift us up. There's the things that bring us forward, the things that rather than the things that bring us back. And it's through lack of clarity can be shows up as a trigger in general, and like comparison and being disconnected. So what I mean by that? When you're disconnected from something that you want to do, it's because there was a trigger, something triggered that to happen. when you're lacking clarity, when you're seeking clarity, that means you lack clarity. So you was triggered in some way that kind of made you a bit blind or unclear about a situation. When you're comparing, comparison is the thief of joy, right? When you're comparing, that means you're not operating in your highest emotional state, your highest state of emotional well-being, which is joy. So that means you're triggered because you're comparing things. You're comparing, like, for example, you're comparing your life to someone else's life, but that's their life and it's not yours. Your life is your life. Your circumstances are your circumstances. Your triggers are your triggers. So at the core of it, we get to address these things. We get to get clear on these things. We get to get specific on these things. We get to get connected on these things, and start really embracing what that looks like for us. So and how that even shows up. So how that shows up, and how do we want it to look for us as well? So it's like, for example, we oftentimes every day we want to show up. We have an agenda. We want to show up with no excuse to be like, yeah, I'm gonna do this today. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna eat healthy. I'm gonna sleep on time. I'm gonna go to bed on time. I'm gonna do this work that I'm so excited about. I'm gonna schedule the timing. I'm gonna make sure everyone knows that I'm on social media. I'm gonna make sure everyone knows my business is here. And then something happens that just really takes us off that kind of momentum. But oftentimes it's not even like whatever takes us off of that. How we respond or react to it, that's the trigger. And it's something we don't. And the triggers are often repeat patterns as well. So if we often like ask it, like, for the audience as well, like, have you ever found yourself experiencing like your triggers have often, have you realized that your triggers have often been like a repeating something that happened, like, not every day but once in a while, but it was that same type of like trigger that popped up that got you off the ball?
Absolutely. I feel like this is the low key, like, shade live for me, because I definitely had a breakthrough yesterday, and then also just even today. I will say shout out to leadership, because one thing that I am like experiencing is I'm open to accept what is, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm more open to be like, okay, I'm allowing this person, I'm allowing this situation to trigger me, and then it gets me out of my vision, it gets me off of my track, it gets me unproductive, it gets me in a lower vibrational frequency. Like, okay, Xaye, what's under that? What, like, why does it matter? It's not, it's not that important. And oh man, I wish I had I actually, not that important and not that important. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it one day. But I earlier today I had a nutrition. I'm doing all the things, but I had a nutrition appointment, and so they were just saying, like, there's different things in life that can cause like stress, or that could like really just get us off of track. And so they said a lot of times we spend our times worrying about things that aren't important and that we can't control. So
Yes.
so it was like, those like boxes. So it was like in the top left, it was like, what can I control and what's important? And then on the top right, it said, what can't I control? Like, what can I not control, but it's still important? And then it was like, okay, what can I control, but it's not important? And then what can I not control, and it's also not important, right? And so the only area in our life we should be paying attention to are the things that we can control and that are important to us. So even though it still may be important, if we can't control it, we don't get to worry about those things, right?
Yeah.
And so that's so crazy. Like all this stuff has happened over the last 48 hours, right? So like I said, I feel like this live is shade for me. 10, 11, I shade, right? But yeah, absolutely. I think like even today, last night I was literally triggered. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm not holding back. I'm gonna be triggered. But okay, I was in a low vibration energy. I literally felt entitled to this person who, I mean, we met, but we don't really know each other, right? And she was branding herself, or she was introducing herself as being authentic. And I was judging her because my interactions with her, it didn't feel authentic. So every time I would see something from her, or every time, I would get, notifications, or just hear her name, even because we're in the same circle, it would kind of like do something to me. And I'm like, this girl ain't authentic. And it just didn't feel authentic to me, because even not only my personal interaction, there's other people who like would bring her up and talk about, some things that I knew. I'm like, I knew it was kind of like me validating that this girl ain't authentic. But it's like, that's not important. Like, why am I hating? Am I hating? You know what I mean? Like, let's be real. Let's be
What is this
real.
energy? What is this energy?
Like, what are all these feelings? But through last night, I got triggered again. All right. I saw her name or whatever. And so what came up for me is, oh my gosh, I was comparing her to other people who I associated with being authentic, and I mislabel her, because maybe she obviously is being her authentic self. She obviously is authentic. However, I didn't feel like she was being transparent. But at the same time, who am I? You get what I'm saying? Who the hell am I to like judge other people on saying, well, you're not giving me enough, right? So I'm gonna send out negative energy to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I got some work to do. Definitely, I don't think I'm a hater. Like, I will definitely love up on people. I definitely love up on people. I definitely, you know what I'm saying? Like, congratulate people. But it was just, I'm like, man, it's just something about this person. And I was allowing it to kind of like do something inside of me. And that's not right, because I was still judging her and trying to like, I don't know what it was. I'm still working through it. But like, if you experience that, definitely drop a aha or like a wow. Say wow in the comments, because I know I'm not the only one. Like, I know I'm not no hater, but I was just trying to figure out like why don't I feel like this girl's a bit authentic? And then I had to tell myself, first of all, Zay, let it go, because y'all not like it doesn't affect me directly, right? It doesn't affect me directly, number one. But number two, she is authentic. It's just my definition of authentic. I also associate with transparency. Right. I also so it's like I'm not fair, because I'm labeling something. She said she was authentic, and she is being her best self the best way she know how. However, I was expecting, and I was wrong for it being entitled to say you need to be transparent to me. Like, who the hell am I? Like, that's wrong. That's not fair to her. That's not fair to myself. You know what I'm saying? So I say all that to say, really going deep and being raw and getting clarity, like within myself. Like, Zay, like I know I'm not no hater. I know myself. I trust myself to like definitely love and uplift other people, especially women. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? And then just getting the connection, like really analyzing people, like all of us in the same space, and like, okay, what's the connection? Well, whenever I see these people, I kind of get that same kind of like, the energy off. Like, why am I judging this person? And then also like the Ben was saying earlier, just sitting back and being like, okay, let me not compare the situation. First of all, I can't compare these other people who I like versus these people who kind of got they vibe ain't right. because we all are on our own journey. We just doing what we know, right? And also not to compare it to myself, and just really saying, okay, I had to shift my perspective in my meeting and say, and maybe I'm still like trying to justify it for me to understand. I'm wasting my time still trying to understand the process, but I was like, okay, she is authentic. Like, let me not discredit her, but I was expecting her to be more transparent, and that's not right. So really learning to manage and being real and raw with our process. So like in 2023 and even up until yesterday moving forward, because I got so much clarity in it, like and I'll just be real, even like with today, like so I don't really want to go into that. That's for a different day. But just really taking the time and sit with, and even Devan was low key the one was like, are you being envious of her? And I'm like, because that's like a red flag to me. I'm like, hell no, I ain't envious of nobody, right? So that was a huge.
And it's perfect. That's a perfect example, like, because you talked, like, literally you, like, that kind of scenario was addressing the clarity, the comparison, and the connection, and remember, it all connected to those triggers. But it's like it was triggering you because that's disconnected from your intention of how you want to show up, your vision of how you want to show up, and how you want to be on purpose. You don't want to be you don't want to be inauthentic. You don't want to be non-transparent. So anything that isn't that, anything that's disconnected from that, that's the trigger. So it's like, and the thing is, if we're constantly disconnected, we can never connect and take that step forward. So it's like, and that's why it's so key that we hold in our vision, our intention for ourselves, and really like get that clarity, like kill the comparison, and then really hone it, get deep, as you said, on connection to how these things are relating to ourselves and how we get to grow beyond that. And like, even like going from the end of the new year strong, going to the new year, like we have to literally be on purpose. We have to like be in our vision. So then, and like it's like a muscle we have to work as well, because it's not. It doesn't come by. It doesn't just come by choice alone. It's a habit. Like, it has to be developed.
No. And we would say, I mean, I know some exercise Devan and I we're gonna do tomorrow. Like, we've been talking through some things that have been triggering us, in the past. But tomorrow we're actually gonna sit down and go super deep and intimate and like figure out like, okay, these are some triggers. How can we support each other? Because we're in we so close, and we affect each other. So how can we support each other in order to lessen the triggers? Or if we are triggered, better manage the triggers. And so that's what we're doing tomorrow. So, we would definitely suggest that, listen, the time is now. 2023 is now, right? It is January 8th.
January 8th. I was about to say, like, what do you mean January 8th? I was like, oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, we acting as if we already there, right? And so we're being, right? Showing up, we're doing the best that we can now, but the result is really December 8th right now. But the results that we sow today are going to definitely show up 30, 60, 90 days from now. So definitely, take this time. This is the season that we don't get, we can, rest and recover, but we also get to better prepare ourselves so we can have a strong pre-lunch into the new year and actually, be in flow in life and in love with our life. And so definitely creating tools for ourselves, like being aware of our triggers and how am I going to deal with these triggers, because we're human, like we are made of habits. So this, I thought, they free, right? They just be running around, whatever. So how can I prevent my triggers from taking me out of the game, whether it's for a few hours, for a day, for a week, for a month, for a year? So how can I get creating preventative measures, preventative tools in order for us to be our best selves, right?
Yeah,
Especially
definitely.
especially if we dabbling in lower vibration energy. Like that ain't right. So with that being said, what's your closing words, the man?
Yeah, it's like nothing higher can evolve from something lower. You know what I mean? So it's like if
Mm,
like
mm,
if you're not if you're in a high state, like the anything that's triggering you or that's um lower than your vision, it's not gonna benefit you in any way. It's not just gonna raise you higher. It doesn't work like that. You know, it doesn't work like that. And
mm-hmm.
one of the things we get to gift ourselves like this season, like as again, I call it still transformation season. And so we definitely get to let go of those emotions, those fears, those triggers that are holding us back from like really unleashing our potential and getting clear, and getting connected to who we want to be, what we want to do, what we want to have. And then I like that's been a journey for us, and we're actually on that path. Like we're grateful every day that we're on that path, and we're clear on what we want to do. We're clear on where we want to go, and we're getting clearer because there's always another level.
Mm-hmm.
But we also want to invite you because we're looking to do a vision planning workshop. But also next week we have what's a 5-day revenue challenge. It's a free event that one of our amazing coaches will be hosting between the December 12th to 19th. So there should be a link. I've either a link in the bio or link in the comments. You want to register for that for free. So you want to join now, get yourself set up now, because what's gonna happen from there is like it's like you're gonna learn to let like ways to let go of those limiting beliefs. You're gonna learn to like step into what's known as your wealth identity. Like really get clear on like self image, get clear on perspective and how perspective can be empowering rather than disempowering. All these different things that's gonna like help us to show up better, help us to show up in our authentic way, help us to show up um, in in a better way, you know, every day. So if you're someone who wants to show up for yourself in a better way, moving into 2023, if you're someone who wants to let go of limiting beliefs, moving into 2023, if you're someone who wants to let go of the emotions, the fears, the triggers that are showing up on a day-to-day basis around whether it's your money, your wealth, your belief, your well-being, you know, your general well-being. Like you need to be on this revenue challenge because you're gonna get some great insights, some great perspectives, and something you may have never heard someone talk to you about, because maybe you're being triggered by people because you remember you can't get tricked. Maybe you're being triggered by people that's like creating that the atmosphere of where you don't want to be. But you want to associate with functions and spaces
Environment.
where it's environments where it's going to elevate you. So if you get into that, so join us next week and get into that environment which is going to elevate you. So like I definitely you have to we'll see you there. Like that's what I can say.
Yeah, go to the link in our register. It's a free challenge. It's absolutely free, and literally just 45 minutes a day, we get to like the man was saying, manage our limiting beliefs and our emotions, especially around money. Because I don't know if y'all know, but we're in a recession. So many people are losing their jobs, and it's so unfortunate, you know, around this time of the year, you know, and I know it's a lot of the media is not talking about it, but we get to be prepared and we get to, like the man said, connect with like-minded people who are raising the economy and really sharing this type of information. So we're gonna be on that challenge, you know. Definitely, if you see fit, upgrade to VIP, but definitely Monday through Friday next week, we're gonna revenue challenge to to get rid of the limiting beliefs around money and better manage our emotions and triggers. So with that being said, y'all, we will see y'all tomorrow. If you have any questions, definitely DM us and have a very triggerless.
Have a triggerless day. Have a triggerless holiday. Take care, guys. Yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff.
Do that.
And have a triggerless holiday again. Remember? Triggerless holiday.